following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Oh, everybody loves somebody sometime. Yes, sir. Now, oh, no, I didn't miss it. I hit my head. Oh, I feel pretty good tonight. And I should, because today I was named Playmate of the Month by the Los Angeles Police Department. And another thing, another nice thing happened to me today. NBC hung a star on my dressing room door. Mickey Rooney. So, hey, I got to tell you about my kid, Ricky. He's so thoughtful. Last week, he found a little lizard in the backyard with a busted leg. He took the lizard in the house, built a little box for it. He kept it near the fireplace where it'd be warm. He fed it milk 3 times a day with a little eyedropper, bathed it every night, you know, with olive oil. And finally, when it was all better, he made a wallet out of it. Now, don't you go away, cause here's a nice fellow to tell you who my guests are.
The Dean Martin Show, starring Joey Heatherton, Bob Melvin, Buck Owens and his Buckaroos, Orson Welles, and Les Brown and his Band of Renown. Brought to you by...
Watching lovers holding hands and laughing, thinking about the things we used to do.
Thinking about things
like a walk in the park, kissing the dark, like a sailboat ride. What about the night that we cried? Things like a lover's vow, things that we don't do now. Thinking about the things we used to do. Memories are all I have to cling to. And heartaches are the friends I'm talking to. And I'm not thinking about how much I love you. But I'm thinking about the things we used to do.
Thinking about things.
Walking the park, kissing the dark, like a sailboat ride. What about things like lovers' vow, things that we don't do now, thinking about the things we used to do. I still can hear the jukebox softly playing, and the face I see each day belongs to you. Though there's not a single sound and there's nobody else around, just me thinking about the things we used to do.
Thinking about things.
To walk in the park,
Things.
to kiss in the dark,
Things.
like a sailboat ride. What about tonight that we cried? Things like a lover's vow, things that we don't do now, thinking about the things we used to do. Heartaches are the friends I'm talking to. Thinking about the things we used to do. Staring at the lonely avenue. That's gotta be it. Oh, that's it. That's gotta be it. Oh, no, that's gotta be it. Beautiful. Save it for the end. The kid sings Groovy. He's got a golden voice. He must cough nuggets. Hey, I got a great show for you tonight. Yeah, my pal Bob Melvin is here, and he's a real funny guy. A great country western group, Buck Owens and his Buckaroos, they're here. And, oh, these guys sell millions of albums. I wish my new album was selling that good. So far, I've only sold one. And I didn't really sell that. An old lady was looking at it in a record shop, and she dropped it, and they made her pay for it. Right there. So, and that great actor, Mr. Orson Welles, is back with us tonight. He's such a perfect gentleman. I know he's a gentleman because I saw him come out of a room that said so. He's such a perfect gentleman. Every time Jeannie walked into the room, Orson stood up. Now, Jeannie says I should do the same thing, and that's murder. He only has to get up off a chair. Longer trip for me, I'll tell you that. And Miss Hoey Heatherton, she's here. Not Hoey Heatherton, Joey Heatherton. Why don't you lay down? And so Joy, she's so lovely and pretty, and she's got, well, it's a gorgeous figure. She looks like Twiggy before the blowout. Where do you see her tonight? She's got some great numbers. 36, 26, 36. And now, here she is, ladies and gentlemen. You got a minute? Miss Joey Heatherton.
She came a long way from St. Louis. She climbed the ladder of success. I've seen the town and country cars that were parked out in front of her fancy address. She came a long way from St. Louis. She broke a lot of hearts between. I've met a gang of gloomy guys who were doing all right till she came on the scene. She blew in from the Middle West and certainly impressed the population hereabouts. Well, baby, I've got news for you. I'm from Missouri, too, so naturally I've got my doubts. She's got 'em dropping by the wayside, feeling I ain't gonna know. She came a long way from St. Louis, but baby, she's still got a long way to go. From St. Louis, she climbed the ladder of success. She came a long way from St. Louis, but baby, listen, my baby, baby, you've got a long way to go. Bye, boys.
Look. No, if you're looking at me, look. My next guest is a guy I first saw at the Sands Hotel a couple years ago. He was the comedian on the bill with Frank Sinatra. And I knew this guy had to be real funny, because he was getting more laughs than Frank singing. You know, the doobie-doobie boy and that kind of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Melvin.
Melvin, the sun shines east, the sun shines west, but we know where the sun shines best. We'd walk a million miles for one of his smiles, Bob Melvin.
Would you believe it? That's Dean Martin's golf cart. I like the cat. Now, I must say, I was very uncomfortable in that kind of chair and situation, because let's face it, with the crisis in the Middle East and my ethnic background, I should not be seen with girls from Egypt. And people get the wrong impression. You think the performers have a ball where you relax and have a good time because you see this kind of introduction and what have you. And believe me, it's not fun. I'll tell you, have you got a minute? I'll tell you who's got the racket in television. The repairman. Now, let's face it. I had a little trouble with my color television set. You know the NBC Peacock? Instead of going like that, it went like this. So the repairman came over and he hit me with the great line, it must go into the shop. And 4 days later, you call this guy up, and he's doing so good. You know, all television repairmen, they're doing so great, they have their own language. Now, you say, how's my set doing? He says, gee, Mr. Melvin, we had to disconnect your PDQ condenser because it was let out from the DC-AC2, and we had to put in a whole new TTJ to make sufficient the CN board, as it hosts the BILL. He said, $23 COD. That I understand. And now that I have your attention, there's another guy I like to talk about, the druggist. Now, no performer, let alone comic, has ever talked about this guy, and what has made him a sacred cow is beyond my comprehension. Now, there isn't a person that's watching and listening that has never had a prescription filled. Now, you walk into the druggist, and you give the pharmacist the white piece of paper. Do you ever notice what he does with it? He runs about back of the counter about 15 feet away, and he always yells out, come back in an hour. What does he have to do in an hour? All he has to do is take the pills out of a big bottle and put them into a small bottle. You know it takes an hour? Stuffing the cotton into the small bottle. And he can't type. And all the instructions are always the same. Take one pill every 3 hours, which is correct. It takes you that long to get the cotton back out of the small bottle. And then when you pick up your miracle pills, just 6 miracle pills, he looks you right in the eye and says, $12. I said, gift wrap them. With this kind of money, I don't swallow pills. I get a piece of dental floss and make a necklace out of it. I think they've gone nuts with miracle pills as is. You hear what they're doing with LSD? They dip it in ink now, so when you take a trip, you could write home. Then there's another guy I like to talk about. And if you drive a car, we'll have a complete rapport. I talk and refer to the car mechanic. Now, let's face it. The majority of us know nothing about cars. Some guys are fortunate. A small minority. They could open up a hood of a car, they tinker around, the car goes. I'm not like that. In order for me to open up the hood of my car, I must hit a wall. Hey, for years, I thought the E in the gas gauge meant excellent. But don't misunderstand. Have you got another minute? Don't misunderstand me. I'm not a complete dummy. I've been driving for 18 years now. I picked up a few tricks. When I drive into a gas station, I know what to yell out. I yell out things like, check the air in the ashtrays. Fill her up. That's correct. You always say, fill her up. You always call a car a her. That's what car mechanics do. And let's face it, gentlemen, they happen to be correct. Anything that takes you for a ride, gives you that much trouble and costs you so much money has got to be a her. Did you ever notice while he's filling your gas tank, he walks around the car, and he says, how's she doing? No, I'm in no particular rush to go anywhere, so I figured I'll get into a conversation. I says, well, she's making sounds. Now, this genius is going to give you an interview. What kind of sounds? I said, I don't know. She goes, clunk, clunk. He said, clunk, clunk, huh? Sounds like your points. You sure you don't mean clink, clink? I said, no, clunk. He says, hey, there's a big difference between clink and clunk. I says, oh, I know. Clunk is the past tense of clink. He said, let's give the car a little spin. You ever notice when these guys give the car a little spin, it isn't this quiet when you park it. He said, but let's leave it in the shop. I said, what was that? He says, let's leave it in the shop. I says, wait a minute, did you ever repair television sets? Now, 4 days later, you come up to pick up your car, and he gives you a bill for $38. 8 cents is for the part, the rest is for labor. A brain surgeon doesn't get this kind of money. Then he hits you with another great line. Gee, Mr. Melvin, you're lucky 5 more miles, you would have been in a lot of trouble. You know what he means? 5 more miles, he would have been in a lot of trouble. I would have been in another gas station. But he says, we had to replace a part. We did put a new part in. And somebody one time gave me a piece of advice, which I gladly, you got a minute? Which I gladly pass along to everyone watching and listening. When a mechanic tells you that, always make sure you get the old part back. And that way you're sure you got a new part in the car. And I said to the guy, let me have the old part. And he was halfway legitimate. He gave me the old part. I took the old part and I threw it in the trunk of my car with the rest of the old parts. Then I realized why my car makes sounds. It's all the old parts rolling around in the trunk of my car. Hey, you're a wonderful audience. And let's face facts. If you ever see me work, you know I base my entire approach to show business on one thought. It always takes 2 things to make a show, the performer and the audience. And no performer could do a good show without a good audience. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, while you were judging me, I was judging you. No, don't laugh or applaud. It's too late for that. You reached your decision, and I reached mine. So before I go, as I do with every audience, I like to give you a rating. And 65% is the passing mark. And I like to give this audience a rating of 81, which is good. I took off the 19 points, and I must tell you why. As I looked in this audience, I happened to spot my druggist, my television repairman, and my car mechanic. Thank you.
You know, I was real honored a few weeks back to have Mr. Orson Welles as my guest. And that night, Orson recited something from Shakespeare, and I never saw so much mail. Yeah, a lot of you folks wrote in to tell us how much you enjoyed Orson, and I agree with you. So tonight, I've asked Orson to repeat it all for you and for me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Orson Welles.
Good evening. The Dean asked me if I'd do a little Shakespeare. I decided to do something from The Merchant of Venice. You know, Shakespeare said about everything that needs to be said on every subject, and I think on the matter of bigotry, nobody has ever spoken out as well as he did 300 years ago, so I'm going to do a short scene from The Merchant of Venice. You must imagine that I'm Shylock, an old Jewish moneylender who lives in the Jewish ghetto of Venice, hated by the Christians, and he is approached by his old enemy, the merchant Antonio, who wants to borrow 3,000 ducats. 3,000 ducats? It's a good round sum. 3 months from 12, and let me see the rate. Signor Antonio, many a time and oft, on the Rialto, you have rated me about my monies and my usances. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spit upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for the use of that which is mine own. Well, then it now appears you need my help. You come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You say so. You that did void your room upon my beard and foot me as you would spurn a stranger cur over your threshold. Monies is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog monies? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low and in a bondsman's key, with bated breath and whispering humbleness, say this? Fair sir, you spit upon me Wednesday last. You spurned me such a day. Another time you called me dog. And for these courtesies, I'll lend thee thus much monies. Yet I'd be friends with you. And have your love. Forget the shames that you have stained me with, and take no doit of usance for my monies. This is kind I offer. Go with me to a notary, seal me there your single bond. I will go purse the ducat straight, and so farewell, Signor Antonio. Farewell. How like a fawning publican he looks. He hath disgraced me and hindered me $500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated mine enemies, and what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions, fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, heated by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is? If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you and the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be by Christian example? Why revenge? The villainy you teach me, I will execute. And it shall go hard. But I will better the instruction.
Coming up for you right after the station break with my guest, Buck Owens and his Buckaroos, and Miss Joey Heatherton and Mr. Orson Welles will be back too. And oh yeah, we're going to have a guy come out here and demonstrate the art of hog calling. But he's having a little trouble. He can't remember the hog's phone number.
The second half of the Dean Martin Show is brought to you by
Ken Lane here. Ken and his wife celebrated their anniversary yesterday, and he did a real nice thing. He bought his wife a foreign convertible, a rickshaw. So, day in,
day out. The same police car follows me about.
Got such gas.
And I took a trip on a car, and I ran over you.
I said that wrong. Could we do that again? Sure. I think I got the rickets. Me a chord.
What's a chord? I don't know.
Chord.
Chord is it's chord, you mean?
It's not chord. C-H-O-R-D is chord. Well, Webster drank more than me if that's chord. That's chord? Good. I'll go home to Jeannie. I'll say, here, honey, here's a box of cockolets. Here, honey, want another piece of cockolet? That's all I gotta say.
I took a trip in a car, and I ran over you.
See you.
That's my luck. Everything gets away.
Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, still happen now and then. Step into my heart. Leave your cares behind. Welcome to my world, filled with you in mind. Knock and the door will open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you'll be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world, waiting just for you. Welcome to my
Thank you. Now, my next guest is a guy who sold over 2 million records. He must be real good, because a lot of people who bought him don't even own phonographs. Ladies and gentlemen, Buck Owens and his Buckaroo.
How long is forever? How soon is now or never? How long do these heartaches linger on? And how long will my baby be gone? How wide is an ocean? How deep is a devotion? How long do these sleep with another man. How much does a heartache? How deep is the heartbreak? How long do these sleepless nights go on? And how long will my baby? How long will my baby be gone?
I want you to know you're one of my favorite country singers. You know that?
Well, Dean, you don't know how good that makes me feel.
Yeah, well, I could only sing those hurting songs like you. I'd like to sing them like you know?
Well, the secret of singing a hurting tune is to look like you're real shook up.
Well, how do you do that?
Well, I usually play my electric guitar with wet hands.
Oh, that'll shake you up.
Now, if that doesn't do it, then you try to think of the saddest thing in your life.
Oh, that would be the day that my olive tree died. Yeah. Hey, let's sing one of your hits, huh? Okay.
I've got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. I won't be much when you get through with me. But I'm losing weight and I'm turning kind of pale. Looks like I've got a tiger by the tail. Sing it! Well, I thought today I met you, you were meek as a lamb. Just the kind that fits my dreams and plans.
Together.
Now the place we're living takes the wind from my sails. Looks like I've got a tiger by the tail. I've got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. I won't be much when you get through with me. But I'm losing weight and I'm turning mighty pale. Looks like I got a tiger by the tail. Every night you drag me where the bright lights are found. There ain't no way to slow you down. I'm about as helpless as a leaf in a gale. Looks like I've got a tiger by the tail. I've got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. I won't be much when you get through with me. I'm losing weight and turning kind of pale. Looks like I've got a tiger by the tail.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Backwards.
Heard of the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech? Well, I want you to meet the total loss from Holy Cross. You know, Dean, I'm a Southerner from Jacksonville, Florida, and tonight I want to do the whole entire English language backwards. There's 250,000 words in our English language. 250,000. That's 200 and... That's a lot of words.
A lot of words there, yes.
And tonight I want these people to call some of those words, and I'll try to spell them backwards, pronounce them backwards, change them on the letters, and put them on the board, but no proper name. For instance, take a girl's name Annie, like Annie Rooney. You can spell that 3 different ways. Well, take Martin here. His name backward is Knitram. So let's get a word to start off. Some word, no proper names. Some word, please. Incomprehensibility. Incomprehensibility? Hey, Knitram. What? This act's over.
Already? We just started.
That has 19 letters. Y-T-I-L-I-B-I-S-N-E-H-E-R-P-M-O-C-N-I. You pronounce it backwards. Yutilubisne Ertmakne. Yutilib, Y-T-I, live, L-I-B, live, is, is, nay, N-E-H, nay, Ert, E-R-P, Ert, mock, M-O-C, mock, ne, N-I, ne, Yutilubisne Ertmakne. Right? Now let's get another word on this side. What's the word?
Ethnocentric.
Oh, back over here.
Ethnocentric.
Ethnocentric.
No.
That'd be S-C-R-A-T-N-E-O-C-D. You pronounce it back as Skinnert, Osney. Right? Right. Let's get a long word. Hypertension. Thank you. N-O-I-S-N-E-T-R-E-P-Y. You pronounce it back as no-is-net, repeat. No-is-net. N-O-No. N-I-S is ret, R-E-T, ret. And that'd be Y-H. No, that'd be hypertension. We'll make hypertension. Long word.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
No, no songs, just the word.
What was that?
Knit ram. There's a guy to go to burlesque show and holler, put it on.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one you can't spell backward.
What is that?
Level.
That's it. Give me the chop.
Right. Hey, you know, Knit Ram, since you've got such...
Knit ram. I love that.
Mart, N-I-T-R-A-M, since you've got such a great show, tonight I'd like to do something never been done on television before. I would like to write 2 different words backwards at the same time. To do this, I'd like to get 2 long-name states. 2 long-name states. Massachusetts. And Mississippi. You made a powerful friend, buddy. You want the river or the state? Mississippi's I-double-P, I-double-S, I-double-S, I-double-S-I-M. You pronounce it backward, ism. Careful with that one.
I know that.
And Massachusetts, that's W-T-E-S-U-A-C-A-S-S-A-M. You pronounce it backwards, test you, Cassim. Now...
You Cassim?
You Cassim.
All right.
Now, I'd like to go to board and write them both backwards at the same time. I'd like to see this myself. One foot. Take the first 2 letters off, jump every other letter for Massachusetts. That's M-A-S-S-A-C-H-U-S-E-T-T-S. Every other letter, Mississippi. That's M-I-double-S-I-double-S-I-double-S-I-double-S-I-double-P-I. That's both of them back at the same time.
Backwards, and you thank, soon back come you, hope I.
Ever rest of you, Nick Ram.
You know, Joey Heatherton has such a beautiful singing voice, I could look at it all night. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Joey Heatherton.
You can have him. I don't want him. He's not worth waiting for. Besides, there's plenty more where he came from. I don't want him. You can have him. I'm giving him the sack, and he can go right back where he came from. I would never make him happy. He'd be better off with you. I'm afraid I never loved him. All I ever wanted to do was run my fingers through his curly locks, mend his underwear and darn his socks, fetch his slippers and remove his shoes, wipe his glasses when he reads the news, rub his forehead with a gentle touch. Mornings after when he's had a little too much, kiss him gently when he's cuddled near, and give him loving year after year. So you see, I don't want him, you can have him, you can have him, I don't want him, 'cause he's not the man for me. I would look a trifle silly taking him away from you. That was never my intention. All I ever wanted to do was wake him gently with a breakfast tray. After breakfast, clear the things away, bring the papers, and when they've been read, let him spend the balance of the day in bed. So you see, you can have him, I don't want him, I don't want him, you can have him. 'Cause he's not. No, he's not the man for me. I found you just in time before you came. My time was running low.
I was lost.
You were lost.
The losing dice were tossed. My bridges all were crossed. Nowhere to go.
Love came just in time. You found me just in time and changed my lonely life. It's lovely. Yeah. Changed my lonely life. It's lovely. Lonely life is lovely. Lonely life is
lovely.
Yeah.
Miss Joey Heatherton, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what trim and vigor. Joey Heatherton. Thank you. Wow. Where do you get it? You know, some of the best fun I've ever had was one time when Orson Welles did a big magic show in Las Vegas. And so I've asked Orson to do some of his magic tricks for us tonight, huh? Once again, my wonderful guest, Mr. Orson Welles. Yep, that's the man. Orson, I always wanted to learn a few magic tricks that I could entertain my genie with, you know?
Oh, it's easy. I'm happy to oblige. Any particular trick you'd like to learn?
Yeah, how can I make her disappear?
For how long?
What's the limit?
Having met your lovely wife, I won't teach you that, but I can teach you a few tricks.
I'll bet you can.
You know...
Hey, you know a trick that always amazed me? How they saw a woman and half
Oh, that old chestnut. We don't do that anymore. Sawing takes too much time. Now we chop off their heads. Professor, a little head chopping music, please. And bring on the guillotine. That looks kind of dangerous.
Dangerous. Tempered steel from the finest sword maker in Spain. That thing isn't dangerous, it's fatal. Just get up on the platform, I'll show you what I mean. Up!
What's with the celery and the lettuce? Ain't this kind of a crazy way to make a salad?
Hold the music, Dean. This is only for the purpose of demonstration. After all, vegetables don't bleed. Watch very carefully.
Yeah.
Push.
Alas, por Yorick, I know him well.
Yeah.
Just imagine if that cabbage head was human.
Mm-hmm.
Supposing it was yours, even.
Yeah, sure. You know any card tricks? Well, it's nice card tricks, easy, you know. Slide it.
Dean, this is the big-time card tricks. Just put your head in that hole. Magically, this Tibetan wonder chopper separates the men from the boys. A little wonder music.
Yeah, my head from my shoulders, that'll separate.
All right. Hold him in, girls, so he can't get out. I promise you, you won't feel a thing. Dean, are you comfortable?
I don't know. Might look a little better on you, Orson. What are you doing with that knife, pal?
I just want to get the feel of it.
Huh?
Just want to get the feel of it, that's all. That's the feel of it. There we are. All right, hold the music. Now, before we attempt this experiment, have you any last message for our viewers?
Who gave you this trick, Jeannie?
Now then, after the death blade has passed through Mr. Martin's neck, severing the spinal column, the esophagus, and the medulla oblongata, it will snip off that celery. Would you put the celery's there? That's right. We'll snip off the celery there and place just under where Mr. Martin's nose will have been. Are you ready? Now, I want you to use all your strength, girls, and all your weight. I'm going to use all my weight, too, Dean. All right, 1. On the count of 3, we're going to push. You understand what I mean? 2. 3.
I sure want to thank all my wonderful guests tonight, Joey Heatherton, Bob Melvin, Buck Owens and his buckaroos, and Mr. Orson Welles. And I sure hope you will come back next week to enjoy the talents of these wonderful guests. Norm Crosby, Alice Faye, Phil Harris, and the kids next door. Oh, in the meantime, you just keep all them cards and letters coming in, folks. My Jeannie and I, we really love them all. Yeah, we even put a burglar alarm on our mailbox so the birds won't steal them. And this week, you want to get out of here? And this week, I sure want to thank that nice farmer, Walter Tubbs, who sent us in that 3-legged milking stool. No, it's real nice, Walter, old boy, real nice. Now, will you write in and tell us which legs to milk? So, well, I'll see you all next week. In the meantime, you take care of yourselves. Excuse me. Everybody milk somebody sometime. I'm gonna blow up. Let me out of here. I'm cracking.